قايلوني كلا تقولوا ماما تيولو ماما تيولو لبينا بيضكي وسن بتهلو ماما تبيري تثبيكي ليت بطري
Good evening everybody and welcome to the African Communities Iftar dinner, hosted tonight by the African think tank and Australian Intercultural Society. My name is Ian Gray, I'm the State Coroner and I'm a member of the Advisory Board of the AIS, the Australian Intercultural Society.
Last year, with the encouragement from the Victorian Multicultural Commission, the AIS, the African think tank organised the first African Communities dinner, Iftar dinner, where first and second generation representatives from 24 African countries attended along with distinguished individuals from federal and local government, federal and state police, federal and state judiciary, foreign consulates, major banks, broadcast media, academia including senior executives, leaders of faith and ethnic groups, secondary schools, not-for-profit organisations, legal firms, small businesses and youth organisations. This year, with the added assistance of others, primarily Mr. Mohammed Abdul Rahman, Manager for Communications and Advocacy at the African Australians Multicultural Employment and Youth Services, the Australian Intercultural Society and the African Think Tank have organised this unique event.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا 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 كم حمام عزار اسمك كتني نسق مداني تكونني إمامتي مداني تكونني هيك يا حي سلام كدريتي إمامت كحليتي باب مرقات بوصل بي إمامتي إمامتي كي حي سلام كدريتي إمامت كحليتي مامتي بيري بصبيكي بليت قدري مامتي عمبا غليكي وريد روا مامتي زبيبوي على لخي السلام درني لا 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 زاوية قوتكم عليك وحلو انت وين زي بالخلالو مشلا باب وانت بتحلو لا 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 يا حمن بنيتا حقيمة ما حريتي ماما تغقامي اخن برزقي لحميمة حريتي ماما تغقامي اخن برزقي لحميمة لا 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 بمحمام عصر اسمك كتكتني اسقم حركة خمي زي تبلني قزقزي الخقال زي تبلني
Bishop Philip, we find you here today attending this event. Tell us why this event is important.
Well, Australia is able to create a wonderful civilization, bringing the human family together in all of our diversity, all kinds of cultures, all the wonderful cultures of Africa, all the wonderful religions of the world, and create a beautiful civilization that can be a sign of hope to the whole world. So one wants to participate in Ramadan with our Muslim brothers and sisters.
And isn't that the beauty of living in Australia?
It is the beauty of living in Australia. It's our responsibility to be a sign of hope to the rest of the world. So we've got a big responsibility and a joyful task.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
والله مناسبة جميلة ونحن سعداء بحضورنا في هذا الحفل اليوم بهذا الإفطار الجماعي في رمضان وبهذا المكان الجميل. نحن سعداء وفرحانين جدا جدا جدا. وإياك بارك. نعم أنا من الصومال أخي، أنا من الجالية الصومالية. بارك الله فيك، شكرا، أهلا وسهلا، أهلا حياك.
Okay, John, we found you today here attending this event. Tell us why it is important.
For me, it's important as a Victorian to just show that we can all come together, even if there's trouble, even if there's conflict in the world, we can all come here and be a shining light to the rest of the world, that people from different cultures, different religions can express themselves together, can take joy in each other's celebrations, each other's religious occasions, and just once again demonstrate to everyone else in the world that there can be peace, there can be harmony amongst all people, and we've got to send that lesson out from Victoria to the rest of the world.
Obviously, this is part of the beauty of living in Australia, isn't it?
I think it's one of the wonderful things in Australia. We have problems from time to time, but we're not afraid to face those problems and to work out solutions to those problems. And I think by and large as a community, particularly in Victoria, we do that very well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
While in Australia we're celebrating our differences, we're celebrating our religions, and I hope to see like what God's Fair Church, Anglican Church has done, welcoming Ramadan. I'd like to see the mosques also welcoming Christmas and others doing the same, because we need to reciprocate the good deeds of all of us in taking forward. Ramadan is a month of work, diligence, and persistence, as well as a month of worship, patience, and most importantly, as I said before, jihad. Jihad, always we hear it in the struggle of killing. No, Islam is not about killing. Jihad is about self-restraint. How to change a behavior that we always as humans, we're complacent throughout the year. And a year gives us 1 month to stand, pause. In my own family, in my own life, when I sit this time with my kids, most things that I used to neglect throughout the year reflects in front of me with my kids. For every day to have a meal together, to sit and reflect and share so many things that you don't know. Over time, you miss to think about it. In fact, if I could say, basically in Islam, in the Quran it said that fasting has been written down as an obligatory to every Muslim. So by that we all are in that sort of jihad to take that. And this in Islam also refers, as Islam in the Quran says, as were upon those before you, which is reference to the Jewish practice of fasting on Yom Kippur, which is a fasting that before Islam, the Jew, and this is part of Islam. Islam says respect the Bible, the Torah, the Injil, and the Quran. So we are all one family. And this is what we are today to celebrate. Our communality has taken us so much. And most importantly, Islam reflects on education. The role of education has been nothing more than magnified in the first verses came in Islam, Iqra, which is read. And this is a theme that has to be celebrated as Australians when we see why the rest of the world are suffering and why we are not. As a young man in my own country, we had diversities. We celebrated differences, but the most important ingredient missing was knowledge. The knowledge that breaks the fear. I grew up with a Christian, and I grew up with a Jew, and with others. But we only know each other as much as we know not going beyond the boundaries to learn about the other. And that fear has always been a cause of a problem. In our multicultural society, one thing that we always need to strengthen is the knowledge that brings us together. The fundamental understanding of all the religions that brings this. As a Muslim, I'm proud to say, Quran has revealed with Iqra, the first, that is knowledge and education matters of great deal. If we are to advance a prosperous, civilized Australia and the world into a secured future, the only way is knowledge. As I prepared to argue that proposition, I was reminded of something Mark Twain has said. Education might have none of the hideous immediate of a massacre, but its impact is more profound, more powerful. In the long run, access to education might not have the obvious palpable impact that SOB has on the quality of a person and social life. But compared with education, SOB is superficial. Education gets under the skin, subtly shaping and reshaping knowledge, bullets, values, norms, and symbols that define social reality. Over time, it is fundamentally redefines the economic aspiration and potential of all the engagement that we take. And as Australians, education has benefited us, and our multiculturalism would not be stronger without adding knowledge, and especially the people that we're looking forward as leaders for the future. We need to empower them. Islam is not about fear. Christianity is not about fighting or fear, or Judaism and other religions. If our youth are equipped with that knowledge, we are guaranteed for a safe journey in a peaceful way that will take us. And as a Muslim, I'm proud to flag Islam has said knowledge, and knowledge as a priority in our religion is the advance. And unfortunately, Islam has got the best fundamentals, but Muslims in some areas, some Muslims are failing it. And this reflects upon us as Muslims also to lift the higher ground of morality in taking society to show not the words we say, but the deeds we do.
It is my great honor to warmly welcome each and every one of you to the second African Communities Iftar dinner this evening. As Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. I mean, the history of the Iftar started like this, yet this is the second African Communities Iftar dinner, including 250 distinguished guests and more diversity than last year. Our aim is to bring all 54 African nations into the special atmosphere of Ramadan dinner, and we hope to achieve it in the near future. At the outset, I would like to express my tremendous appreciation to our sponsors. This program became possible through their support, and as a result, we can strengthen our harmonious society and contribute to social cohesion and multiculturalism of Victoria. Thank you. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for attending this Iftar dinner. Without your support and presence, this dinner would have no significance. I also would like to thank Dr. Behan Ahmed, he's my African uncle, for co-hosting and working hard to make this event a reality. Finally, thank you, Muhammad Abdurrahman, Chair of the MS, Ms. Esma Ijal, Ms. Jenny, and other person, and MC Karim.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألف لام ميم. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون.
Muslims worldwide observe this as a month of fasting. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam that a Muslim must observe. It becomes compulsory for Muslims to start fasting when they reach puberty. So as long as they are healthy and sane and also have no disabilities or illnesses. Many children basically complete as many fasts as possible for their future life.
This evening's celebration is just one of the many iftar dinners taking place right across our state in various settings during Ramadan. In homes, workplaces and institutions, Muslims and people of different faiths and beliefs gather in a spirit of mutual respect and share food and friendship. Indeed, I was honoured to be able to join with Aidan and Aziz Baz in their family home just on Tuesday. I took it very seriously. I tried to fast for the whole day. I was conveniently told that unfortunately the fast actually starts at first light. I thought it was sunrise, so I missed out on around about an hour and a half, which was slightly embarrassing at the time when I was thinking I was all important. But certainly it assisted me in being able to understand a little bit better just what is going on, and as you can tell, it didn't hurt me one little bit. But an iftar dinner is an ideal opportunity to reflect on the values of charity, altruism, and our responsibilities to one another. Each year, a growing number of Victorians take part in this wonderful tradition, and we are grateful to our Muslim communities for sharing their faith and culture with people from all walks of life. And indeed, since being elected, I've been to many Iftar dinners, and that's where I've picked up my addiction to dates. It got a bit hairy there at one stage. I was eating quite a few of them. But as Victorians, we greatly embrace and respect cultural and religious diversity, including their dates. Every day there are thousands upon thousands of examples of Victorians from different backgrounds living, working and celebrating together. Let us never forget the unity that we all share, a unity that is at the heart of celebrations such as Iftar.
But to me, Ramadan is an opportunity for us all to honour the important contribution of those who practice the Muslim faith and what they have done for our wonderful Victorian community. I am very proud to be part of the Victorian community, a community where Muslims have helped build a diverse, productive and prosperous society. The relationship between Muslims and Australians has a long and proud history. Nationally, Muslims and the first Australians, our Indigenous people, have been peacefully interacting for centuries. Maccasan traders from Sulawesi in Indonesia visited the coast of Northern Australia, did visit the coast of Northern Australia for hundreds of years prior to European settlement, leaving their mark in Indigenous art, language and genetics. These visits are graphically recorded in the rock art of East Arnhem Land and in the oral histories of local Aboriginal communities. Post-European settlement, Muslims played a crucial role in the exploration of our continent. For example, 4 Muslim camel sepoys, their names were Dost Muhammad, Esau Khan, Samla and Beluch, were part of the ill-fated Burke and Wills expedition in 1860.
It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces here tonight, and also wonderful, perhaps more wonderful, to see so many new faces that I've not seen at an Iftar dinner before. We are all here tonight to celebrate Ramadan and to gain a better understanding of Muslims and the Islamic religion and the Islamic culture according to the faith tenets practiced in this holy month of Ramadan. It's interesting because the AIS certainly break new ground. You heard about Ramadan from an economist, and now you're going to hear about it from a Jew. So it's really amazing what goes on these days. I understand that Ramadan is a time to purify the soul, to refocus attention on God, and to practice self-sacrifice. It's certainly far more than simply not eating and drinking. Muslims are called upon to use this month to re-evaluate their lives in light of Islamic guidance, to make peace with those who have wronged them, and to strengthen ties with family and friends, and very much to engage in a process of spiritual purification. It's interesting because coming to these dinners and talking to so many people always leaves me with a profound sense of togetherness, a sense of unity and common purpose. I'm reminded as to how much we have in common, and this theme has already been spoken about by a number of people this evening.
Some final reflections on these 2 issues, and I echo all the sentiments and the expressions and statements made by the previous speakers. And it is important that we attack, we take on those to seek to vilify racism, bigotry, and so on and so forth. Very important that we, in fact, as someone has said, deprive those issues of oxygen. But I also want you to reflect for a moment the importance of what it means to be multicultural. There is no better, more, I suppose, enthusiastic response from the commission like ours to want to jump at it, go out there, bring out the sword, and protect and defend. But we understand what multiculturalism stands for. It is not just about those who are oppressed. those who are seeking to find settlement to try and restart so they become good Australians who moved on quickly and contribute to this wonderful society we live in.
The leadership that has been displayed here tonight, Ken Lay, I thought an outstanding contribution about leadership and the connection to the African community. John Searle, likewise. I'd also like to acknowledge Christine Nixon for her ongoing work. We need to stand up for the values that we cherish, and we need to speak out when they occur. To the African Australians, I want to particularly say congratulations, only here for one generation. I think that deserves a round of applause for everything